Hello everyone, welcome to the normal tarot to gold deck flip through. Because the gold and silver decks aren't done yet, I am going to be looking through them digitally. I think that's like the easiest thing to do. So without any further ado, I'm Seven, your lovely publishing goblin, and I would like to just showcase this awesome art. So a little bit about us. I'm Seven, I'm the publishing goblin. My job is pretty much just to be the publisher. I handle the Kickstarters, the crowdfunding, the advertisement, the actual businessy stuff of, I guess, getting these decks made. Caretaker, this lovely skeleton right here, is the one who originally designed the decks. And Amy did the original tarot deck illustrations, which is here on the right. And Sam Dow did the deck here on the left. This is the gold deck. Now, obviously, the final deck will actually have gold foil, but here you can see the really lovely gold foil, like stand-in that Sam drew. When we eventually sell out of all of our foil decks, we'll be going to a print-on-demand. And that print-on-demand deck will include this hand-drawn gold foil. Also, of course, the deck will have gold trim edges. That'll also be really fantastic. And this is the cover of the original book, which we will use for Amy's updated silver deck, which I will show in the next video. That means that there's actually going to be like a new book cover. Over here is page 7 in the book, which covers the center. This is pretty much how we've laid out the book in the past. Caretaker is updating this stuff, so there may be more text for me to fit, and maybe I will shrink the card art a little bit and we'll have a little more text. Not 100% sure yet, but I just wanted you to be able to see everything all at once. So without further ado, I'm just going to flip through the deck. Here on the left again is Samantha Dow's gold deck. And here on the right is Amy Smith's original tarot. We are having this entire deck like super updated. It's much darker. It'll have silver foil pops. It looks really fantastic, honestly. But we're just going to compare this to the original normal tarot. I think that'll be a good benchmarker for you to both see how new the new deck is, like how different of a direction Sam took. And then over here, of course, you will see all the original art. And though you won't see the updated silver version just yet, you will see what the original designs looked like. The designs themselves aren't being changed. It's just like the card is being darkened. A lot of the white areas are becoming black. Silver's being added to all kinds of different spots. That'll be next video. So for now, let's just take a look through the deck. This is a 99 card tarot deck, so I'm going to try to be a little quick. You can, of course, pause the video to take a look at stuff as we go. So without further ado, here we go. Number 1, we have the Sinner. Then we have the Mourning Queen. The Empty Throne. I'm not flipping through the book to show you everything. I'd kind of defeat the purpose of having a book if you could just take it out of here. But the book includes every card and lots of info about them, so definitely a useful thing to have. The Librarian. And remember, this is the reimagined Major Arcana. It's very different than traditional deck, for sure. We have the Huntress, number 5. Sorceress. I love it, too, because when Amy first did this deck, we just had the descriptions. There were no images already done or anything. It was just descriptions. So Amy was the first artist to really interpret the deck, the entire deck. And when Sam wanted to work on her version, she asked me for a version of the book that didn't have any pictures so that she wouldn't be affected at all by Amy's original art. But you can still see like the descriptions very evocative, but definitely fed into particular things. Like the traitor, the way it's set up here, very similar, but also very stylistically different. Book of Flowers, the Book of Songs, Book of War, the Book of the Lost. I love the different interpretations here. This one feels very like ephemeral and lost in the fog. This one is like literally lost just at the bottom of a well. Just super wonderful different takes. Book of Chaos, the Book of Secrets. This is one of my favorites of this deck over here. The New Moon, Waxing Crescent. And of course, these are going to be pretty similar cards. They're just the moon, right? But even on these, like the interpretations, the placement of the moon is so much different. And that's just so neat. Waxing Gibbous, the full moon. And this is what's so cool. Amy's original is like, it gets brighter and brighter, of course, as the moon gets more and more full. But Sam's like, it's so lonesome in the black. Super neat. The Waning Gibbous. Ooh. The last quarter. The Waning Crescent. And then we're done with the moons and we reach the start of the kings. There are definitely particular motifs in this deck. One of them, of course, is that there are all those moons, there are all those books, there are all these kings, and that kind of leads up to the end of the major arcana. Another thing to note is that Amy's deck was all hand-drawn, while Sam's was all digital from the start. And I think you can really see the difference. And it's very strange but neat. It makes Sam's deck very clean. There's all these very clear blacks, but on Amy's we have these really lovely like hand-drawn little lines that fade away, and these black areas that, sure, some of it was filled in, but you can see on like the Waning Crescent those like missing spots a little bit from the marker, and that has such a neat like handmade feel to it. We have the Drowned King. Just really beautiful on both of them. The Charred King. This is probably one of my favorites from Amy's deck. What can I say? I love people who burnt away, I suppose. The Lost King. Got these lovely skeletons. The Frozen King. The Courteous King. And I love this in Amy's deck, like the carry-on of the same thrones from the Empty Throne with different kings. We have the Masquerade. Both took the same general approach, but different angles, different views. The Betrayed King. The Burning Garden. This is one of my absolute favorites. I actually have the original, I think. Someone had claimed it, and then they had unclaimed it at some point. So it's on my bookshelf. Sorry, everyone. The Winter Solstice. On this one, Amy's doing pretty much everything around the icicle in silver. It's going to be really exciting. The Second of Winter. And you see really quickly, I'll stop talking to start flipping more, but you really see here the difference on the pip cards, where Amy definitely works on these motifs. The winter has icicles, the other seasons have their own unique symbols, and she makes sure that she actually works in 2 or 3 or whatnot in there. Whereas Sam is really interpreting the information about the card more than she is the concept of 1, 2, 3, 4. So you see 3, and then this is just the scene with the boat. The Fourth of Winter. I love this one. Sam here does a lot of sailing, so I think she really enjoyed this part. The Fifth of Winter. Also gorgeous. The Sixth of Winter. The Seventh of Winter. I love how desolate this one is. You can tell I'm a fan. Different takes on the elk. 9th of winter, the 10th of winter, the Winter Night 1. This is where you start seeing there's 3 nights per suit. Winter Night 2, Winter Night 3. And they're not different nights. It's like the same night through different situations, and in many cases leads to their defeat or victory. And here you see the 3 queens. We have the lady, the queen, and the mother. This one right here is my absolute favorite in the original deck. The gold, so pretty. Spring equinox. 2nd of spring. And again, you see the motif, the vines. 3rd of spring, the map. 4th of spring on the path. 5th of spring, you have a nice break for some food. Everyone take a break from the video to eat some food. The 6th of spring. This one is so unique, even to this deck. Just the design work there is so different than everything else, I think, in the entire deck. Very, very wonderful. 7th of spring. Look at that water. Look at those gradients. 8th of spring. The 9th of spring. And the 10th. I love the asymmetry on this one. I love these giant bees, spooky bees. Spring night. Honestly, I got so used to seeing the original that when I looked at this again, I got confused as to where the spider went. I really thought it was in the new one as well. Spring Night 2. Very similar compositions. And the Spring Night 3. Very different dynamic poses. I love that about this. The Spring Lady. The Spring Queen. Both of which are just lovely. The Spring Mother. This was one of the first ones that I saw from Amy. Summer Solstice. Lots of gold here. 2nd of summer. Got the little flames, but also these reeds. 3rd of summer. The 4th, these fires. I love the fire. It's such a neat concept. Amy was really unafraid of divvying up the design takes. And it really shows, and it's very nice. 5th of summer. Again, same idea, of course, based on the same card, but they're so uniquely different. The 6th of summer. The 7th. The 8th. The 9th. And the 10th. Love those jaws. Love these hands. Little tattoos. So good. And we're on to the summer nights. Both of which stuck with the hair that are really awesome in gold, though. It's so pretty. Look at the way it flows. Summer Night 2. Summer Night 3. Just beautiful golden mane. Wish my hair was like that. We have the Summer Lady. The Summer Queen. The Summer Mother. And the start of autumn equinox. The equinox, sorry if I say that wrong. The 2nd of autumn. Love the bee, the leaves. Love these little shapes. 3rd of autumn. Now, I'm not going to lie, the entire time that I worked with the original deck, I always thought that these were scrolls. And I loved them for that because of the way that she colored them in with the lines. It looks like they're scrolls. And it wasn't until I saw the gold deck that I realized it's a wine cellar. And that's cool. And I get that that's probably the original intention. And it probably says in the book, and I just forgot. But man, this will always be scrolls in my heart, and it looks awesome. Fourth of Autumn. Socks. Fifth of Autumn. Love them both. Sixth of Autumn. And I'm not biased. I don't love one more than the other. I really do love different cards in the different decks. Seventh of Autumn. Like, this is so mysterious to me, and I love that. And this is more, maybe even closer to what the original intention was. This looks so arcane and mysterious. It's like definitely a meeting, but secret meeting. The 8th of Autumn. I love the little dancing bugs. They're so cute. 9th of Autumn. 10th of Autumn. And we're on to the nights. Night 1. Waiting in combat. Night 2. Horribly wounded. Night 3. Dead on the hill of murder. The Autumn Lady. Oh, love that texture, and I love these beads. The Autumn Queen. The Autumn Mother. The Lantern and the Well. Like, such a neat card idea even. Thank you, Caretaker, for making a really cool deck. The Ghost. This one is so good. It's great in both of them. This one feels so imposing and like it's coming to you. This one very much more in a scene, but the like texturing on the Ghost itself is incredible. The Observatory. The Masterless Knight. Originally named the Wandering Knight, and actually both artists I had to have them change the text because Caretaker changed it at some point. Just super cool in both. The Masterless in silver. I can't wait to show you that. It looks so good. And finally, the Nameless Goddess. I've got these donuts. It's a big thing here, all right? So, absolutely thanks for taking a look. Make sure that you go and pledge. This is not a subscribe and hit the bell kind of button thing. But look out for the next video where I will be showing off the silver deck. Whenever that may be. Alright, thank you everyone. Bye-bye.